Welcome to my Pop Culture Significance, a show where I share my last week's pop culture indulgences as a way of trying to be well adjusted with people my age and not be a young person with an old soul. I started the week by coming across this Japanese hip-hop / city pop band called Love. They're cool. I don't really know why. I like Japanese music, but they always just hit a sweet spot for me. Japan is my dream country to visit. I think their culture is very rich and very specific to Japan and Japanese people themselves, and that personal vibe is shown off in their art, whether that's anime, music, video games, whatever the fuck. And speaking of video games, one of the reasons I have Persona 5 and 4 in my backlog is solely because of their art style. There's always that feeling that Japanese products or projects have this weight behind them. And speaking of Japanese products, HunterxHunter. I'm a virgin when it comes to anime. I know that makes me a hypocrite because of the dick sucking I just did to Japan a couple of seconds ago, but I'm not gonna lie. The animes I watched from start to finish can probably be, you can count them on one hand. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Vinland Saga, the cyberpunk anime. That's all the animes I've watched from start to finish. I've dipped my toes in most of the mainstream ones like AOT, Jujutsu Kaisen, Death Note, and HunterxHunter was one of them. Until I decided to continue it because I liked the vibe. And it didn't fucking disappoint, I'll tell you that. I'm currently sitting on episode 82, and I love it because of mainly one thing, and that one thing is also what makes Adventure Time my favorite show of all time, and it's the episode-to-episode adventures of the show. They're very good and very entertaining, and I feel like they're elevated with good character writing. The writing on the show is fantastic, and the Phantom Troop arc was probably one of my favorite writing-wise. At the beginning, I was kind of put down by Gun, because he's your average goody two-shoes anime protagonist who doesn't want to kill anyone and is very naive. But to be honest, I've grown fond of characters like Gun, and I can now confidently say that he's my favorite character in the show. I don't know if that's because the character himself gotten different throughout the show, or it's because I'm different from when I started watching it, but I've grown to love the hopeful, naive characters. I don't think that their existence is cliche or something out of the ordinary like I used to before. I think naive and hopeful characters like Gun are people who the world desperately needs, but is fighting because of how unrealistic they seem. But they're realistic, or at least I think so. So the adventure aspect, or if I'm speaking in gaming terms, the game loop of HunterxHunter is the thing that makes me love it the most, and it already solidified it as my favorite anime ever, period. And I know that I didn't watch a lot to be able to make that judgment, but I don't think that if this premise is replicated in another anime, the adventure premise, maybe then that I would start considering another anime to be my favorite. It's not about the plot or the characters, it's more so of the day-to-day activities of the show. So if they made like an Adventure Time anime or something, maybe then that would change my favorite anime. Now let's talk about the important stuff, video games. I'm currently working on a video idea where I go through a bunch of old classics like Final Fantasy VII, Super Mario 64, and Ocarina of Time to try and figure out if those games are actually live up to the hype that they've been living with for over 20 years, or are people overly nostalgic for them. And it's safe to say now that after playing the first game in my list, which is Ocarina of Time, that it actually lives up to the hype. It's crazy how a game made in 1998 can hold that much ideas and cleverness in executing those ideas while having an artistic vision that nimbly glides over the entire game like a cloth of perfection that just does nothing but elevate the experience. I won't spoil it because if there's even one person who hasn't played this game, they don't deserve to be in the spoiled Ocarina of Time team. Everyone who experiences this miserable tragedy called the human experience must be able to play Ocarina of Time blindly even once in their life. But there's something that I need to bring your attention to. In the middle of the game, there is like a 7-year time skip, because your protagonist needed to be an adult in order to be able to beat the bad guy, Ganon. And the shift from the first half, where you're a child and everything feels magical and colorful, and the castle village feels lively, and there is a breath of fresh air everywhere, to the second half, where you're now an adult and evil have taken over everything. The town that was once filled with people and activities is now full of ghosts and zombies. The magic of the world is now just sorcery. Your friends are not there, and your quest is not an adventure anymore. It's a battle to preserve good in a world filled with evil and a dark, gloomy nature. You're fighting to keep your innocent self in a cruel world. It's really a masterpiece in game design, and a masterpiece in showcasing its gimmicks in addition with its beautiful game design. Go play, please. Now on to some news. Hollow Knight Silksong released, and because I was wanting to honor its 6-year wait, I decided to complete the original Hollow Knight, decided to 112% it, and I regret it. It's a pain in the ass. It's a real pain in the ass. I was losing my goddamn mind. I don't regret it in the sense that it was time poorly spent. I regret it in the sense that it was too fucking hard. It's one of the hardest things that I ever had to do in my entire life. And I gave birth before. That joke didn't land so well. I really can't stress enough on how hard the fucking Pantheon is. There are 5 boss rush levels that gets increasingly harder each level, with having in mind that every single boss is already difficult on its own. Until you reach Pantheon 5, where you fight 52 bosses in a row, and if you lose to any one of them, you have to begin from the very first beginning until you reach the hardest, or X hardest boss in the game, Radiance. But in this Pantheon, he's called the Absolute Radiance. Its name is a deck giveaway on how fucking hard it is. I spent more than 7 fucking days in this fucking project. All that for a YouTube video. I don't regret it, and I did finish it, and I will upload the YouTube video. But it was so fucking hard. I really almost lost my goddamn mind. However, Silksong was released. I'm so excited for Silksong because of how the overall tone looks. What I know about it is that they doubled down and elevated on what worked in the original one. You know, the plethora of bosses, the different environments, which suits the lore, or my idea of what a lore of a prequel to the original game would look like. I have a nerd friend who caught me up with everything related to its lore, and I'm pretty excited on how it all plays out in the old world, and hopefully they let you play after the events of the original game. If they did that, that would be fire. I'm someone who is drawn towards colorful worlds and vibes more than dark ones, and Silksong checks those boxes for me. That and the new Hornet mechanics. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but everyone is saying that she plays very differently than the Knight, and I love that about her. The original one is one of my favorite games ever, and I completed it, so it's stuck in my brain. Whether that's for how good the game is or for its fucking difficulty, it's not going anywhere. It's stuck there. That's all for my last week's pop culture significance. I've successfully indulged myself in pop culture for this week. See you in another episode if I decide to make another episode. If I don't, then I'll just see you later. If you like this, consider subscribing. It helps a lot. And leave a like and a comment. Tell me what you think of Silksong. Tell me what you think of this video. Tell me about your favorite video game if you want to. Just tell me anything, please. Just boost the algorithm with a comment. Thank you. See ya.